Okay, now just give me like 3-4 minutes of your time and I'll show you how to get the best SBA loan in the country that's right for you without hiring some accountant or attorney or expert like that. Okay, now here's what you do. Okay, you go to SBA.gov, .com or anything like that, and just go to the main website there, and you see up on top there's grants and loans, or loans and grants. Just click that on. Click that on loans and grants, and then you come to another page, and on the left-hand side of that page, you'll see a listing there under loans and grants, and one of the items says, see who's lending near you. See, there's thousands of banks out there and other kind of financial institutions that are sanctioned by the SBA, you know, to lend you money, you know, and the government signs off on it. See, it's like having a rich uncle co-sign your loan, because if you can't make it, then the government pays it off for you. You know, that's what's so neat. So that's why they're easier to get than traditional loans. Okay, so you click who's lending near you. Okay, click that and you come to this page here. Okay, and you see there's a place to put in either your zip code or your district or even your city, your district, where you live. So I put in Philadelphia, okay, because I used to live near there, Philadelphia. Actually, I lived up in Wilkes-Barre, it's a little further. And then you get, listen, look, what it does is show you all the data of the banks who give money in SBA loans, how much they give, and in what categories. Now here you see, like Wells Fargo in the Philadelphia area gave out 94 loans that were $50,000 or less. They gave out 37 loans that were from $50,000 to $350,000, you know? And they gave out like 79 loans that were from $350,000 to $5 million. See, depending on how much money you have or need, you know, different banks will be probably more interested in you. That's why this is wonderful data. You know, this data is available. It's public information. So you could go down and see, and see, and actually what you should do first is call your own bank. In other words, you contact your own bank because you have a relationship with them. Now, they're going to say yes or no, obviously, or maybe or whatever. And so if they say no, don't forget, they may be talking about just regular kind of commercial loans. Ask them about SBA loans. And then if they still say no, okay, then you're going to go to this list, you know, and to this office. But if they say yes, but you don't qualify, try to find out why, and they'll tell you why. But let's get back to this list. Okay, you go to this list and you see all the banks there. Well, you're still not sure. It's a little complicated or whatever. So what you do is you go down to the bottom of that list and you see the contact information at the Small Business Administration. Now, what's important about that is that they know these banks. And banks lend to different kind of businesses. See, some banks will specialize in restaurants. Some banks will specialize in high technology, you know. Maybe you're an automobile repair or something like that. See, they have different banks specializing in different kind of industries and businesses, so they get to know those industries and businesses so they can understand your business. Because if you're trying to sell a technology business to some bank who doesn't know beans about technology, it's going to be a harder sell. So you want to go to the people that know about your industry and business, because we all have peculiar, you know, ways of doing business depending on what kind of industry you're in. So it's important to find out the banks that lend to your kind of business, you know, and that how much fits your category. And these people that are listed there, you just call them up. I call them up again just the other day just to check, you know, and they said, yes, no problem. We'll tell you wherever you live, you know, the 3 best banks in your area and why and things like this. And now here's something very important that they'll also do. If you don't get the money for some reason, they'll help you get it. And free. See, these are free. Your accountant and things like that are going to charge you, a couple $100 an hour to do anything. they'll do all this for free. So maybe you don't have a good enough business plan or something like that, or your credit is lousy or something like that, and you're not getting it, you know. So they'll work with you for free to make sure you get it. See, what the government wants to do this, number one, you're going to create jobs. All the jobs in our country comes from small businesses nowadays. It's not the big businesses. They make more money by laying off people, not by hiring people. That's how they make money, because the owners are getting paid in stock, you know, and how much their stock is worth. So it increased their stock value if they cut expenses. So that's why it's laying off people. So to create jobs, you know, the country really has to rely on small business. So this is why this program is there to help people get loans for small businesses. So use them advice, because they help you do business plans. Maybe it's your business plan. You don't have a good idea about a business plan or something. Because there's a lot of paperwork with these small business loans. And what we're going to do actually is have an app soon that you just put in one zip code or wherever you live, and you get all this data right on your phone. Yeah. And you can call them people right there and everything. So that's going to be cool when we finish that. But until then, you're going to have to go through this process. But here's another neat thing about, I don't know if it's so neat, about small business loans, is the default rate. See, they give out, you know, like $18 billion a year in loans. And look at their default rate is something like 18%, you know, for default. Franchises have 13%. So in the SBA, franchises are theoretically have a smaller default rate, but some franchises are crazy, like Amco Transmission. They have 26% default rate. Stone Cold Creamery, you know, they have a 30% default rate. Planet Beach, I guess that's one of those tanning salons. Almost half of their people default. Yeah, so that's amazing. That's why the government loans are easier, because, you know, they have higher default rates. It's really for when you can't get loans elsewhere. See, that's why the government money is around. And while I was looking at that, I was saying, okay, so if the government is lending out money to small businesses and they have like an 18% default rate, what are the other things doing? Okay, here I found an index of default rates on basic business money. And it's right now, it's like 7 or 8%. So it's half of what the small business loans are at the SBA guaranteed loans. Well, here's another thing. I don't know if you know about online you can get business loans, and we're going to have this as part of the app, and these may be better. They'll be easier and things like that instead of small business SBA loans. So this is how to get internet loans for your business that are cheaper, better, faster maybe. Now one of the big people who do this is Kiva. They're international. They have a group here in USA, but they give money out worldwide to people who are mostly independent entrepreneurs and just need a few $1,000 to start a business or whatever, you know, $5,000, $10,000 kind of thing. And their default rate is half. Or even actually over the world, it's only 1%. These are poor people that don't have money. And their default rate is only 1%. The rich people borrow from banks have a bigger default rate. That's a, or Grameen Bank. Now that's another low-income, it's a bank for low-income people to start a business, and they're in the United States now too. And they have a 1.5% to 2.5%. Now you have to meet the federal poverty guidelines to get this money. Okay, you hear that? You have to meet the federal poverty guidelines. You can't make a lot of money to get this loan. You go to the bank. If you're in poverty, this is a loan for you. Yeah. And listen to this, their default rate is 1.5% to 2.5%. Okay, the SBA business loans are 18%. Yeah, what are we doing wrong in this world? Yeah, obviously a lot. Yeah, so that's what. And peer-to-peer lending. I mean, that's another thing that we're going to have in this app too. So you could find out these alternative sources besides going to the banks or even SBA loans. They have a default rate of only 3 and 4%. You know. So it's amazing, and all the online is a heck of a lot cheaper, easier, faster, and nicer, to get a loan that way. But a lot of people still, SBA loans, they're giving out $18 billion a year, and I just showed you the easiest and best way to get the perfect loan for you.